I've had a couple of games on the Accelerated Dragon on the channel, and this is another one that thematically I've been trying to choose a few games that we make it to end games and there's a theme from start to finish we can focus on. So let's dive right in as I'm playing against 2568 in Lee Chess Blitz. And we're going to get to the Accelerated Dragon position via transposition. And there are many options here for the English players if you don't want to go into a dragon. E6, Queen B6, Queen A5, all these are reasonable moves if you don't want to face the Morocco bind, and not many players do these days. Bishop G7, Bishop E3, but I go into this position head first as I've got experience with it. But I did miss a key opportunity here. Normally, black plays knight takes d4, d6, bishop d7, bishop c6, and then a5. This is the normal setup. And once this bishop reaches c6, it hits the e-pawn, which forces f3. Well, white has already played the defensive move f3, which should key me in on there's other plans in the position. This is one of those rare times where you can break the bind with e6 followed by d5, and this is already a better position for black. So first point, don't miss these opportunities because you have a structure in mind and you understand the plan there. Covered this before. These are the mistakes that I'm making in my games, so hopefully it's instructive for you. If you have the time, slow down. Think outside the box. D6, and I go directly to a transposition to the main line that I understand. Now the next step in this position is I want to reach a good knight versus bad bishop endgame. This is the bad bishop because the majority of the pawns are stuck on the same color. Good bishop. Good bishop. Now, if I go e5, it's very clear that's the bad bishop. But generally, you want to go knight d7, if I could arrows, to trade off these bishops. When white went knight d5, I saw this as an opportunity to guarantee an imbalance. So I did trade off the good bishop in order to reach this ending. I know my knight's going to have a wonderful outpost on c5. So white begins the procedure to go all out. Say, okay, rook c8. And after bishop g4, I do not want to allow this knight to come off because it's going to be a pretty balanced game. Queen c5, takes, and my knight has a wonderful outpost. The majority of my pawns are on dark squares. Let's see how we can make the most of this position. Rook c4. No. We got a pawn on light square. Let's go ahead and improve this and go b4. Rook c4 just definitely wasn't the best as it gave me space and more control over key squares. White doesn't have pawn breaks that are useful over here now. They come back to c4. All right, let's improve. What's the most aggressive move? h5. Hits the bishop, gets some space, but this is the type of position that shows my limitations as a chess player because I see this position as closed, fixed, no risk need to be taken. I can needle in the position for the long term, so I'm looking at slow, steady improvement. So that's why I'm looking at h5, which is what I play in the game. The engine favors allowing counterplay to get the bigger prize. And also, being able to calculate flawlessly could help with your chess play, believe it or not. I didn't even consider what the engine gave as the only line for an advantage for black here, which started with knight d3, hitting the b and f pawns. But in turn, knight c7 is played. Rook f7 doesn't work due to bishop e6, so you grab a pawn. Takes. Rook e6, and now if I'd seen this far, it still wouldn't be clear to me that I'm in good shape. Rook c7 though. There's lots of tactical opportunities here for black, and white's going to have a lot of trouble holding it together. So in a long time control game, maybe I consider this, maybe I find it, but likely no. I'm pretty comfortable with not taking risk here, as I didn't deem it necessary. Engine did. h5. Now, part of this was optimization. h4. Getting pawns on the opposite color of the bishop to make sure they're not weaknesses in the future. Now I'm looking at the right time to make a break and get my king into the action somehow. f5. After e5, rook c8, looking for the right moment for maybe knight e4 check and trade. King e3. Right. I don't mind them taking, but if I could get the chain to be broken, move the f-pawn, I think I'll be in good shape. So king h6. And here the position is roughly balanced if white goes b3. But white played a3. All right. Well, that's going to give an opening for later for the rook potentially. But white's not getting the same kind of value for opening the b file. g5. Takes, takes. Takes, takes. King d4. Well, if your king's trying to get him in and get space, king f4. Check. King e3. You can have the pawn, I'll take your bishop. Deal? No deal. Okay. Well, my h-pawn is attacked. What's the best way to defend it? Defend it with aggression. Knight e4 check. Hopefully you found that immediately, because after king b3, knight d2, you win the game. Guess what? I didn't. Like, I'm focused on the endgame win and getting pawns on dark squares. The bishop is a piece that can travel anywhere he wants on the board, and other than hitting my rook, it doesn't even matter. These are the types of things you miss. Can't see the forest for the trees. Bishop c2. Now I see knight e4. And what is the key idea in all endgames? If you've been watching these videos so far, I've definitely mentioned it at least once. Promotion. Getting reinforcements. So in this case, what is the fastest way to promote a pawn? h3. We want the g-pawn out of the way, and now my opponent had enough. That's it for this one. Hopefully, as you're going through these videos, if you're enjoying it, smashing the like button every now and then, and comment below if you have something that you're interested in seeing. Hopefully I can get around to creating it. I've been doing a lot of content for US Chess, as that's my main job these days. But time to time, I will get back to bread and butter on the channel and make some content. So hopefully I can add something you're interested in. But I appreciate your support and following in. Until next time.